Duga radar is in fairly good condition, not like other buildings in the zone. They are decaying fast due to the lack of maintenance. You will navigate through the radar's surroundings, encountering elements like the famous steel gate with a red star on it, which often captures the eyes of stalkers and photographers. Kopachi is another significant location featured in Chernobylite. The atmosphere is filled with a sense of lost innocence and the heavy burden of the past. It serves as a popular stop for tours of the zone, illustrating the drastic measures taken to harness the contamination and the profound impact on the affected communities. Hello guys. For those of you who follow us thanks to our Chernobyl history videos, as well as gamers who don't necessarily watch these, I wanted to make something special. A video that will combine those two worlds. They may seem apart to you, but they are deeply connected for us. The idea for the game arose when we were in Chernobyl, and we saw the scary and beautiful zone from the top of one of the highest buildings. In our videos, we show you both our game and the real story of Chernobyl disaster. Today comes the moment to join these two together again and show you how we see it. Or, in other words, how we connected what we saw, felt and experienced in the zone, and how we translated those into the game idea, and later, the game itself. So, the basic info. Chernobylite is a survival horror RPG that immerses players, you, in the eerie and dangerous world of Chernobyl Exclusion Zone. It gives you a captivating blend of science fiction and supernatural elements, while its foundation is deeply rooted in the real-life history and geography of Chernobyl, Pripyat, and all adjacent areas. This connection is made even more tangible through years of our efforts to scan and recreate the exclusion zone's environment, using advanced drone and manual scanning technologies. Some of them are our own pioneer technologies, which we also used, for example, to make the Chernobyl VR project, which allows you to experience the zone in the first-person VR view. In this video, I will delve into the parallels and deviations between the game and the actual Chernobyl exclusion zone, to explore how our game brings this hauntingly real location to life, for both the players and those interested in Chernobyl in general. Is the first part, so watch out for nuance. Follow our Instagram or Twitter to be up to date with new information about the game, updates or videos. But let's start now. Chernobyl Exclusion Zone. The Fusion of Fact and Fiction. Part 1. The Eye of Moscow and Kopachi. One of the standout locations in Chernobylite is the Eye of Moscow map, which features the imposing Duga radar system. If you read anything about Chernobyl disaster, it's a matter of time before you come across this famous Soviet installation. It's one of the most iconic landmarks seen from a huge distance from most parts of the zone. The Duga radar, a Soviet over-the-horizon radar system, was part of the Soviet missile defense. It was an important element of their early warning radar network. Its purpose was to detect the launch of ballistic missiles from as far away as North America, giving the Soviet Union a precious lead time to respond to any potential nuclear attacks. The radar system was notorious for the sharp, repetitive tapping noise it emitted, which led to it being nicknamed the Russian woodpecker by those who picked up the signals on shortwave radios. The interference was powerful and widespread, disrupting broadcasts and communications across various frequencies. It still keeps itself in a fairly good condition, while fairly is a key word here, because buildings in the zone are decaying fast due to lack of maintenance and other activities around the zone. At some point, the army used abandoned zone for tactical maneuvers, which led to destruction of many buildings, mostly in Pripyat. But this massive structure is one of the most legendary and mysterious places within the whole exclusion zone to this day. In real life, the Duga radar stands as a towering relic of the Cold War era, hidden deep in the forest near the Chernobyl nuclear power plant. Its rusting framework and the surrounding abandoned military installations evoke a sense of desolation and forgotten history. The radar is a poignant reminder of the technological ambitions and paranoia of the time. It operated from July 1976 to December 1989, long even after the disaster had already happened and there were still efforts to deal with its outcome. In Chernobylite, the Duga radar is faithfully recreated, capturing its immense scale and eerie presence. Due to the gameplay needs, we changed the zone a bit. In reality, it's vast and fairly empty space, so we wanted to create a feeling of being a small part of this world. For example, the famous Monument to Those Who Saved the World is located in a different place than in our game, but still it stands as an important landmark in Chernobylite, as well as in the real exclusion zone. In the game, you will navigate through the radar's surroundings, encountering elements like the famous steel gate with a red star on it, which often captures the eyes of stalkers and photographers. The in-game version of the radar serves not only as a backdrop for intense gameplay, but also as a symbol of real-life sacrifices and heroism during the Chernobyl disaster. A little spoiler: if you play Chernobylite in the right way, you can demolish the whole structure. It's an important moment in the game as, like many others, it will define your story in an unpredictable way. Kopachi Village. Kopachi is another significant location featured in Chernobylite. This small village was heavily contaminated during the Chernobyl disaster and subsequently buried to reduce radiation exposure. During the time the power plant and nearby city of Pripyat were constructed, Kopachi was a village of some significance, serving, for example, as a housing area for some construction workers and lumberjacks. It was located just a few kilometers from the Chernobyl nuclear power plant, an area severely affected by the radioactive fallout from the 1986 disaster. In the immediate aftermath, Kopachi was heavily contaminated with radioactive isotopes, particularly cesium-137 and strontium-90. Due to the high levels of contamination, the village was almost entirely demolished as part of the Soviet decontamination efforts. Only the kindergarten's remains are still visible above ground as a haunting reminder of the village's existence. This method of burying the structures was unique to Kopachi. It became one of the few locations within the exclusion zone treated in such a manner. Why? We might guess, but if you would ask me, I would say that it's because this was a terribly costly task to do. The Soviets picked it from multiple similar locations, probably due to its purpose, so as not to encourage anybody to come back there. In real life, Kopachi was one of the many villages affected by the radioactive fallout. To mitigate the radiation risk, most of the village's buildings were bulldozed and buried. However, the kindergarten and a few structures were left standing, becoming important symbols of the abandoned lives and interrupted futures. The village also had a summer children's camp, emphasizing the normalcy that once was before the disaster struck. It serves as a popular stop for tours of the zone, illustrating the drastic measures taken to harness the contamination and the profound impact on the affected communities. In Chernobylite, we have recreated Kopachi with haunting accuracy, allowing players to explore the remnants of the kindergarten and other structures. The atmosphere is filled with a sense of lost innocence and the heavy burden of the past. The addition of supernatural elements and interactive gameplay events enhances the eeriness, making players feel the weight of the story while navigating through the village and the nearby forest. It was hard to give you the experience we had when we entered the partially collapsed kindergarten building, or when we first laid eyes on the children's summer camp. You could say that in some way it was full of ghosts. Ghosts of the past, that silently remind you of what happened to this place and its inhabitants. I think we did a great job depicting it, and using it to tell Igor and Tatiana's story. I think we managed to do it in a respectful and true way. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Please share it and leave a comment. as it will help us greatly. Be sure to watch our previous videos if you haven't done so yet, and if you want to ask anything, feel free to do so. I also have good information for the console players, finally. We scheduled the update for all console versions for the nearest Monday, July 22nd. Keep in touch so you won't miss it. This update will include all the seasons and other content that haven't reached these platforms yet. This week will be a lot more intense as the next video is scheduled for Friday, while the regular episode is still going online on Sunday. I hope you will like it as much as I do. Help us boost the algorithm and watch other videos on our channel or share them with your friends. Anyhow, that's it for today, guys. Take care, stay safe, and see you on Friday.